Have you ever experienced the bitter sting of someone using your past mistakes against you? Perhaps a colleague reminds you of a decision you regret, a friend rehashes an old misstep, or a family member seems determined to define you by the person you once were. At first, it may feel like a dagger aimed straight at your confidence, a subtle, or not so subtle, attempt to undermine your present worth. Yet, as the Stoics teach, the past has no power except that which we allow it to hold over us. What if every attempt by another to weaponize your history could instead become an opportunity, a mirror reflecting your growth, a challenge to your emotional mastery, and a call to reclaim your own sovereignty? In this exploration, we will uncover the Stoic path to turning judgment into liberation, criticism into insight, and attacks into affirmation of your present character. By internalizing these principles, you do not merely survive the sting of judgment, you transcend it, cultivating resilience, clarity, and the unshakable strength of virtue. 1. The past cannot define you. Our culture tells us, subtly and persistently, that our identity is inseparable from our history. Social media feeds, gossip, and even well-meaning commentary reinforce the idea that mistakes, failures, and regrets are permanent stains. Yet Stoicism offers a radically different perspective. The past is immutable and outside our control, but our response to it is entirely ours. Marcus Aurelius reflects repeatedly on the impermanence of events and the futility of allowing them to govern the mind. Each error or moment of weakness, rather than being a mark of shame, is an opportunity to cultivate wisdom. When someone reminds you of what you once did, they are attempting to project a fixed identity onto a self that is constantly evolving. But the essence of your worth is not captured in those moments. It is measured by the conscious choices you make now, the effort you invest in building virtue, and the courage with which you confront life. Imagine your past as a vast library, each mistake a book that holds lessons if you choose to read it, but irrelevant if you ignore the judgment of others who insist you live in its shadow. Every conscious act of growth, every disciplined choice, every attempt to align life with reason and integrity constitutes proof that the person you were then is no longer the person you are becoming. The power lies in embracing the present and refusing to allow history to dictate your identity. 2. Others' judgments reflect them, not you. The attacks of others, particularly those rooted in our past, are rarely accurate reflections of who we are. They are reflections of the worldview, fears, and limitations of the one speaking. Epictetus teaches that external events, including criticism, reminders, or accusations, cannot disturb our soul unless we permit them. This is a liberating truth because it places the locus of power firmly within ourselves. When someone seeks to define you by what you once were, they are projecting their own anxieties, insecurities, or desire for control. Recognizing this allows us to shift from reactive suffering to conscious serenity. Their words lose their weight the moment we see them as external, rather than internal truths. Anchoring your self-worth in virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance creates a fortress impervious to such attacks. Words, accusations, and reminders may pass through the air, but they cannot alter the essence of a mind committed to reason. Over time, this clarity transforms your interactions. Criticism becomes an opportunity to observe human nature, not an invitation to self-doubt. Provocations become tests of discipline rather than triggers for anger. Mastery over your emotions emerges not from confrontation or deflection, but from steadfast internal sovereignty, the calm awareness that no judgment, no past failure, and no manipulation can reach the essence of your being unless you allow it. 3. Respond, don't react. The difference between reaction and response defines the boundaries of freedom and mastery. Reaction is impulsive, emotional, and often destructive. It binds us to the narrative others attempt to impose. Response, by contrast, is deliberate, reasoned, and liberating. When someone attempts to wield your past as a weapon, it is natural for anger, shame, or defensiveness to rise. Yet Stoicism teaches that freedom emerges precisely at the point where we refuse to surrender to these impulses. Instead, practice the pause, the reflective interval that allows reason to guide your action. In this pause, you assert your truth. That was then. This is now. My worth is measured by my virtue, not my errors. These words are not empty platitudes. They are a declaration of sovereignty, an act of philosophical defiance against the tyranny of judgment. By responding calmly, you preserve energy, maintain composure, and demonstrate the power of self-control. Over time, this practice transforms character. The mind becomes disciplined, the spirit resilient, and the heart unshakable. In practical terms, this may involve measured speech, silence, or thoughtful reflection. But in all cases, the principle is constant. You determine the meaning of your past, you define your present self, and you maintain control over the narrative of your life. Responding rather than reacting allows you to inhabit your own story fully, free from the distortions of others' perceptions, and to live guided by reason rather than emotion. 4. Use the past as fuel for growth. Every mistake, failure, and misjudgment carries within it the seed of insight. The Stoics teach us to see adversity as a forge in which character is tempered. When someone seeks to use your past against you, do not recoil. Instead, examine what that reminder can teach. Each critique, each accusation, each recollection is an invitation to greater self-awareness and refinement of virtue. Rather than being shackled by shame, allow the memory of past errors to propel you toward deliberate improvement. Act with courage, integrity, and discipline in the present, for these actions speak louder than any accusation or criticism. Let your conduct embody the truth that your value is not defined by yesterday's failings, but by today's virtue. Growth is demonstrated not through argument or defense, but through sustained action. A life lived in accordance with reason, compassion, and moral clarity. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, transforming reminders of the past into a driving force for mastery, reclaiming your mind from manipulation, and cultivating a spirit untouchable by judgment. By continually directing energy toward improvement and alignment with virtue, you render all attempts to diminish you impotent. You do not erase the past, but you rise above it, embodying the principle that the present moment, informed by wisdom, defines your life far more than any recollection of what once was. The past may be remembered, but it does not control you. Your worth is measured not by mistakes or failures, but by the courage, integrity, and discipline with which you live today. When someone seeks to use your past against you, meet it with calm, clarity, and unwavering virtue. Master your mind, strengthen your spirit, reclaim your life. If you wish to cultivate unshakable emotional resilience and live a life guided by wisdom, subscribe to Stoic Thrive and tap the bell. Rise above judgment. Live intentionally. Thrive with courage, clarity, and virtue every single day.